Good day, everyone. This is Jenny's Fashion Channel. Thanks to all my amazing fans and subscribers. This channel is all about leveling up on your fashion designing skill. And today, I'm going to teach you how to cut a halter neck corset. So if it is what you are all about, you are definitely at the right place. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, now will be a very good time for you to smash on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Without further ado, let's jump right in, shall we? The first thing is to draw a line as my baseline. Then I will get my neck curve, and I'm using 3 inches for my neck width and 3 inches for my neck depth. I will mark and I will connect like so. Then I will go up from those points by 1.5 inches diagonally. I will mark it and I will connect like so to get a perfect round curve. Then I will get my shoulder measurement divided by 2. I will mark it. Then from the shoulder point, I will go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I will mark it and I will connect it to the neck width like so. Then the next thing is to get my armhole depth. And for me to get my armhole depth, I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 6, okay? Plus 1.5 inches, okay? Then I'm going to remove 1 inch from it because this dress is going to be without a sleeve. And I wouldn't want my bust to expose in the armhole side. Then I will mark and I will connect like so. Then I will draw a horizontal line from those points as my chest line. Then I will come down by 10 inches for my bust line. I will mark and draw the line. Then the next thing is to get my underbust line. And for me to get my underbust line, I will come down by 3.5 inches from the bust line. I will mark and draw the line. Then I will come down by 16.5 inches for my waistline, and I will go down by 24 inches for my hip line. Though this my pattern paper is not up to 24, okay? But know that you're supposed to go down by 24 inches. That's if your hip line is 24 inches. But if your hip line is on 23 inches, you go down by 23 inches. Then I will add half an inch for joining allowance. I will mark and draw the line. Then the next thing is to get my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, okay? I'm not going to add joining allowance, okay? But while transferring it on the fabric, I will add the joining allowance. I will mark it. Then I will connect it straight down to the joining allowance line like so. Then the next thing is to get the underbust dart. And for me to get the underbust dart, I'm going to take the difference between the bust line and the underbust line. And I have 3.5 inches, okay? So I'm going to divide it by 2. It will give me about 1.75 inches. I will divide the 1.75 inches by 2 again. It will give me 8.88 inch, okay? So I'm going to take the 8.88 inch to the left and 1.75 inches to the right. That's if the difference between your underbust line and bust line is about 3 inches, okay? You are going to divide it by 2. It will give you 1.5 inches, okay? Then you are going to divide 1.5 inches by 2 again. It will give you about 0.75 inches, okay? So you take 0.75 inches to the left and take 1.5 inches to the right. Are we on the same page? Then I'm going to come down by 1 inch from the bust point. This is to remove any form of pointiness on the bust area. I will mark and connect to the underbust dart. Then I will connect the underbust dart straight down to the waistline like so. Then from this my hip line, I'm going to go up by 2 inches. I will mark it. Then I will connect this dart to it like so. Then the next thing is to get where the yoke will stop. So I'm going to come down by 7 inches. Though this purely depends on you. It depends on how deep you want it. You can come down by 6 inches. You can maintain your choice line. It purely depends on you. I will mark and connect like so. Then I'm going to extend this my bust line to it like so. Then the next thing is to get my overbust dart for the overbust tightening. So I'm going to go in by half an inch and go out by 1 inch. Then I'm going to go up by half an inch from this my bust point. I will mark and I'm going to connect like so. Then from this my yoke depth line, I'm going to go down by 1 inch. Then I'm going to go out from those points by half an inch for my cup separation. I'm going to connect like so. Then I will go ahead and measure my cups to ensure that they are equal. So after measuring, I found out that the one at the right side is bigger than the one at the left side with about half an inch. So I'm going to extend this very one at the left side with half an inch so that one cup will not be shorter than the other. Then I'm going to connect it like so. Then I'm going to connect this my cup separation point, okay, to my bust line with a straight ruler. Then I'm going to use my curve ruler to curve it into the underbust dart like so. Then the next thing is to get the second cup. And for me to get the second cup, I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurement divide by 2. Then I'm going to add half an inch to it because our bust is fuller on the armhole side. I will mark it and I'm going to connect it to the underbust dart like so. Then on the chest line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divide by 4. I'm going to replace this dart intake here, okay? I will mark it. Then I'm going to connect it to the neck width like so to give it that Halter effect. Then I'm going to connect this like so to get the second cup. Then the next thing is to get my horizontal measurement. On the chest line, I'm going to add 2 inches for joining allowance. On the bust line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divide by 4. I will add 2 inches for joining allowance. On the underbust line, I'm going to take my underbust measurement divide by 4. I'm going to replace this dart intake here plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it. Then on the waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurement divide by 4. I'm going to replace this dart intake here plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it. On the hip line, I'm going to take my hip measurement divide by 4. I will add 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it and mark the same thing on the joining allowance line like so. Then I'll go ahead and connect my markings to serve as a guide for cutting. So guys, this is just it. I'll go ahead and close this up for the yoke. So guys, this is just it. We'll now go ahead and cut. So follow me closely. Let's cut. So guys, this is just it. You can see how perfect it came out. We'll now move over to the back panel. The first thing is to draw a line as my baseline. Then I'm going to take out my zipper allowance and I'm using 1 inch for my zipper allowance. I will mark and draw the line. Then the next thing is to get my neck curve and I'm using 3 inches for my neck width and 1 inch for my neck depth. I'm going to connect like so. Then I will take my shoulder measurement divide by 2. I will mark it. Then I will go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I will mark it and connect it to the neck width like so. Then I will get my armhole depth just the same way we did on the front part of the dress. I will mark it and I'm going to connect it like this. Then I will draw a horizontal line from those points as my chest line. Then I will come down by 10 inches for my bust line. And I will come down by 16.5 inches for my waistline. Then I'm going to go down by 24 inches for my hip line. Then I will add half an inch for joining allowance. I will mark and draw the lines. I will take my nipple to nipple measurement divide by 2. I will mark it. And I will connect it to the joining allowance line like so. Then the next thing is to get my dart. So on the waistline, I'm going to go in by half an inch here and go out by half an inch to form a dart. Then I'm going to extend this my bust point by 1 inch like so. Then I'm going to connect like so. On the hip line, I'm going to go up by 2 inches, okay? I will mark it and connect it to my dart like so. Then on the chest line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divide by 4. I will mark it. Then I'm going to connect it to the neck width to create that Halter effect. Then I'll go ahead and take my horizontal measurement. On the chest line, I will add 2 inches for joining allowance. On the bust line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divide by 4. I will add 2 inches for joining allowance. You can use 1.5 inches. On the waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurement divide by 4. I'm going to replace this dart intake here plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it. On the hip line, I'm going to take my hip measurement divide by 4. I'm going to add 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it. And mark the same thing on the joining allowance line. Then I'm going to connect my markings to serve as a guide for cutting. Then on the waistline, I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch from those points. This is to remove any form of bulginess on the waist area. I will mark and I will connect like so. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my zipper allowance, and I'm using 1 inch there. So I'm going to mark like so and connect my markings. So guys, this is it for the back panel. It is that simple. We'll now go ahead and cut. So guys, this is it. Then for the turtleneck, I'm going to measure my neck curves for the front part and back part. And for the front part, I have about 9 inches there. Then for the back part, I have also 9 inches, okay? For the 2 sides, including the zipper allowance. So altogether, I have 18 inches. So I'm going to use 18 inches to cut out the cape for the turtleneck. So I've gone ahead to cut out the cape using the measurement. So I'm going to fold it like so. The first thing is to draw a line as my baseline. Then from those points, okay, this should be at the center of the dress, okay, this part, because it is folded. So I'm going to go down by 1/2 inch, okay. Then I'm going to get the midpoint of this, my baseline. I will mark it and I'm going to connect it like so. Then for the length of the cape, I'm using 2 inches, okay. So on this, my midpoint, okay, I will start taking my measurement like so. From this 1/2 inch, I went downward and I will carry on like so. Then I will go ahead and cut. This part is the part that will be joined on the neck curve of the dress, okay? Then I will continue cutting. So this is it. Please, if you are transferring this on your fabric, please add 1/2 inch joining allowance for the upper part and for the down part, okay? Then while joining, you are going to start at the center of the dress, okay? You first place one piece down, that's folding 1/2 inch in like so, okay? You place your fabric on top, then you use the other piece to cover it. Then you are going to stitch, starting from the center, you stitch the 2 sides, okay? Then after, you use 1/2 inch to hem in the upper part of the cape. So guys, this is it. And this is all I have for you for today. If you find this tutorial helpful, please subscribe, comment, like, and share. See you in my next video. Bye.